Alright, YouTube, second part of the video. We'll see how this goes. Again, the main function here, I don't expect that there were improvements. I just got 12.5.4.1, which is supposed to include the city stack and the highway stack now being merged for the first time. So this is our first drive, first attempt. So this is part 2. You saw me drive out to this mall and what's going to become downtown Chesterfield, because it's being shut down and rebuilt. So now what we're doing is we're kind of going to peek out the back way, and we're going to get back on the interstate. This time I'm going to ramp up the speed to see if the car tries to manage traffic a little differently. When I had it going slow, I had it doing about 5 miles over the speed limit. In that scenario, it just kind of, if you watch the video, it just kind of parked itself in the right lane and didn't do much else. In fact, it didn't move over for traffic that was trying to merge. If it did anything, it would just decide between trying to speed up or slow down, and that was it. I'm going to describe one little thing that just happened there, which caused me to stop and assess. Yeah. Not sure what it's picking up on. So I was just going to say, it did like a weird phantom brake, but it was just very momentary. And then you just heard that, where it just alarmed for no clear reason and did some very hard braking. So it doesn't look like we've resolved some of the weird phantom braking issues that I picked up on 12.5.4, because that was a green light that we had when it kind of started to brake and then it continued through. Why it did the second brake that it alarmed on, I don't know. We'll have to go back and watch the video. But so still some odd behaviors popping up. I think if this was me, I probably would want to be in the next lane over, because the right lane ends, so it's going to have to merge, and we're the only cars here. So in fact, we're the first to the light, so it would seem like take the shortest distance and take the one that doesn't have to merge. But that does give us a car now planted to our left that we're going to have to merge with, so it'll be interesting to see. One of my chief complaints with full self-driving is that I don't think it actually does a good job with merging or handling merging, especially in poorly marked areas, or maybe areas that don't have good navigation to indicate that there's a merge required. It just basically gets forced into a situation rather than planning it. Like, we're speeding up. Well, did put an indicator on, that's first. But yeah, sped up and went around it. We'll see. We'll have to test that behavior some more just to see if that's a consistent item. It needs to get over. We'll see. Indicating, moving, safe to go. So no issues there. So it's got me on automax and not letting me adjust the speed, and it's indicating it wants to get over, but there's a car that's just kind of like hanging in that. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to bump this up that it handed it over to me. Trying to get us to basically be going with the flow of traffic, which usually be around 70 miles an hour or something like that. Alright, so because of traffic, we're hanging out in the 50s. I've got it set for 72. It is not trying to change lanes. Kind of have my foot hovered over the gas just because of some of the phantom braking issues that I've picked up on. I really never had problems with phantom braking on old versions all that much. It seems like it's actually become more common, where the cars maybe become a little bit more conservative or a little bit more worried about traffic entering, exiting the highway, and things of that nature. So, okay. Kind of held itself on the left-hand side of the lane there. I don't know if you noticed, once we passed the semi-truck, it came back over to the middle of the lane. But as we were going past the semi, it kind of hung over on the left side a little bit more. Potential turn of events, it maybe has a new behavior now. I think if you go back and watch any old videos I did, again, first drives, so you don't want to judge too quickly. You want to get several drives under your belt before you notice what the patterns are. But like I said, if you have your speed set higher than the flow of traffic, prior versions of FSD, version 11 for the highway, would attempt to change lanes in order to kind of keep you going at the speed that you selected. In this particular scenario, so far, highway drives, this will be technically the second drive, if we want to call it that. It seems to be pretty content to hang out in whatever lane it kind of picked up on to go into, and just hang out in that lane rather than trying to shift to whatever happens to be the fastest lane. For those that didn't watch the last video, because I'm going to upload this as like 2 parts, so far my only, we'll call, true intervention, and it's or true knock. I didn't intervene. I let the car do what it was doing. But with its new behavior of getting into the intersection and being a little bit more aggressive about going through intersections, since 12.5, it's kind of picked up this behavior where it'll ease itself into the intersection. The only problem is I have an intersection where you don't have a good line of sight, and so it probably had me about a quarter of the way into one lane, and it was just hanging out there waiting for traffic for it to be able to go. Problem is, if you were looking from the left side, and the camera's from the left side, it's on a little bit of a hill, so a car could appear and we were sitting in that car's lane, and it would cause that car to have to brake or potentially clip the front end of this car. So it's still not a perfect execution of how to handle intersections. We still got some work to do. So we're about 1.5 miles out from where we're going to get off the interstate. Okay. I was curious about that. I was curious how quickly it would start to get over. If it hung out too long in those left lanes, I think there's a good chance people drive pretty aggressively on the right side. They'll pass on the right side. So if you don't kind of get over, you'll find yourself boxed in. So like we're 1 mile out, we've got a car with a trailer, it looks like, coming up on the right side. And for me, I'd go ahead and get over, because you're not really passing traffic here. Like, we're not gonna make any headway passing traffic necessarily on the right. But now we're gonna get boxed in. Come on, put your blinker on. And so the car behind us did let us over. Technically, if the car pulled in tighter on us, I don't know, the car would have had to do some heavy braking or something to that effect. So, thus far, not bad. Handling itself pretty well. I still wish they would do away with... It seems like that's a hard command of 0.5 miles. That's when you want to start moving over and preparing to take the exit. I think that's very situational. I think any human driver would know the behaviors of people who drive in that area, what traffic patterns can be like, and that there are times where you can kind of wait until the very last minute to get over, or alternatively, you need to get over early. And so, can't knock it though. It did manage to do the job. I actually was kind of hoping that it would get boxed in and that the guy wasn't going to let us over, to see what the behavior would have been. Like, is it going to try and brake? Is it just going to slow down a little bit? Like, what was it going to do in order to be able to take that exit? Or was it just going to have to miss the exit and then spin around? So, we're off the highway now. We'll go a little bit further. I may end this video early just because this is more city driving, and I don't know that this, or I should say suburban driving. I don't know that any of the updates to 12.5.4.1 were intended to impact suburban and city driving. So we'll give it a little bit of a go though, because there is an interesting turn that we have to make up here, and that turn, I'm curious to see how it'll measure traffic. It may be a situation where I take over just because, again, this is a new version to me. We're making a left across a busy road. Yep, we're phantom braking again. So green light and we were braking. I tapped the accelerator to get it to go. No idea why it's doing that. So hopefully that's a fix in one of the next releases, because that's very frustrating. So, green light turning yellow. Yeah, that weird braking at green lights at intersections like that, that's a 12.5 issue for me. I've not had that before until 12.5. And it is not pleasant. I have to admit, I've done what that BMW just did. I don't know whether you noticed, but rather than stop at the stoplight, he made the right-hand turn, then kind of did an immediate U-turn, because it's just a very short little road there, and then proceeded to make another right-hand turn. So 2 rights in a row, so he didn't have to stop for the red light. I've not done that here, but I used to do something like that in a neighborhood that I lived in, where traffic in the morning would be so bad that trying to make a left-hand turn could take forever. And since it would always take forever, I would just make a right and a U-turn and then go straight by, and I'd always beat everybody trying to make a left. So here's where I need to get over. But again, because we're kind of racing with the truck on our left-hand side, rather than just going ahead and getting over, it kind of hangs out over here. So Actually, you know what? I just realized it's... I don't know where it thinks it's going. Huh. Let's play this. No, that's the left. Yeah. What are you doing, car? That was a horrible, horrible shift. If you're gonna go, you better go. Yep. Okay. Yeah. It worked, but that was not the way you want to do that. Ah, hard brake. And then now we're doing a jitter bug. Okay. Well, that was the left that I wanted to capture on there. So what I'm saying was horrible was, remember how I said that truck was there? It was about a half or 6/10 of a mile from where we would need to make a left. It stayed in the right lane, stayed in the right lane. Oh, more. Why are we coming to a complete stop? There's nobody behind me, so I'm letting this happen, but this randomness is just killing me. That is such a new behavior since 12.5. Like, this is one of those situations where I legitimately on 12.5 do not fully trust it as much as I did on older versions. Like, it's just crazy. And I'm not understanding what the computer might be seeing or doing that's off. But yeah, because of the fact that it's so random, it makes it so that like I'm definitely like on the ready to give it gas or take over steering or whatever I need to do, just because it's like in other versions I actually found myself like 12.3 or whatever, like I'd actually find myself actually thinking like, wow, I could actually, you know, like not even think about this. Like, I trusted it so much that I actually felt pretty confident to like let it do its thing. But these weird phantom braking episodes, and I don't know what you want to call that. I don't even know if that's phantom braking. Like, I have no idea why or what it's seeing or doing. But anyway, that's pretty problematic. Not sure what it'll take to address that or clean that up, because it's all right. If it's teaching itself at this point, I mean, I guess I'd probably hit a button and start sharing information. But yeah, that's also what these videos are for, just to make sure that if anybody's paying attention or watching them, they understand that like it's a weird reason to have to intervene, to just have the car brake for no apparent reason at inappropriate times and at inappropriate speeds. So, all right, I'm gonna take over from here, and thanks for watching.